Ladies and gentlemen, I have been struggling with a pretty serious chest cold, but I'm not going to let that get me down. Just got my antibiotics today, and I'm all hopped up on cold medicine, so I'm going to give it the old college try. Craig the Man, yes. What's going on, Craig Meister? What's shaking? Now, Craig, are you in the Jason Kuna community? Do you watch his shows regularly? Do you watch Yiz? You know Yiz? You watch her show at all? She does a couple shows, actually. Yeah, generally, yes, I have been busy lately. That's fine, yeah. I'm on, not so much frequently anymore, but I used to be on Yiz's Discordant Dragons more frequently. It's just kind of a fun game show type setting for like a political conversation, you know? And she's got some big brain people on there. She likes to have me on because I give like hot takes on things, and I say things that are maybe a little less, well, maybe a little more edgy. But she likes that. It gives variety. I think these other people are intellectuals, academics, and so they're very calculated. And then I'll come out with like, both guns blasting and Fed posting. Not that bad, but close. I think it just makes for a fun show, though. I don't know about the whole. I don't know that it seems like everybody's getting tired of everybody having a show, and like hearing opinions about stuff. And, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I mean, we all have our own tastes, like who we like and who we follow. People have different brands, I suppose, that they identify with. Excuse me. Sorry. So she is based, absolutely. Yeah, she's very based. I am. Oops, I missed that. What'd you say? I am usually not able to catch her morning walks, but used to watch those. I think those were some of the best shows that she did, actually. They were very kind of. I mean, she's always very sincere and authentic, but it just was sort of more from the heart, And it's pretty nice. And just, seeing a nice morning walk in the park environment is kind of nice, too. Oh man, I can not wait for this cold to go away, though. It has made my life miserable in the past several days. Oh, it's been rough. I just started the antibiotics today, so it'll take a couple days for that to kick in. I think I'm going to take off work tomorrow. Anyway, well, hold on, let me read what you're saying. Normies don't know about good shows, though. If they are political, they're just, wow, aren't wokies, wokey-walkie? I'm okay. There are all those, she helped me out a bit of figuring out how to get a hold of local politicians. Hope you do better. You said it's a cold. Yeah, it's going around. Like half of everyone I know has it right now, like where I live. So one person at work who has the cold told me that she went to the doctor. She's older and she has like a lot of faith in the medical industry, which I don't. But she said that her doctor said that it might be COVID. And then I was like, oh shit, the red flags are going off. And I'm like, did you lose your sense of taste and smell? Were you vomiting? Did you have, and I just know the symptoms of COVID, which some of them are the same as a cold, but there's others that are definitely not, like muscle fatigue and various things of this nature. And then she mentioned that she said those things to her doctor, and the doctor said something like, "Oh, that's from a previous strain of COVID. It's the new one apparently doesn't have that." So I'm like, "Oh, meaning any common cold can now be called COVID because you change the definition of the symptoms, and so it's just another fucking way to get you to." Get jabbed and all the other fuckery involved with that. A lot of people dying from that. A lot of severe medical injuries from the jab, Rooney. Anyway, so I go into my doctor today and I'm on guard. I'm like, okay, he's going to try to sell me something. He's going to try to walk me into this thing. And so how am I going to handle it? Well, for starters, I'm going to research a little bit and then I'll question him, with facts. And doctors don't normally expect you to know shit, You're just supposed to like fall on your knees to their authority. And so I did that, and he was a little disgruntled at that, and then he said that, oh, now there's just a pill that you take. It's called Zabadabadabadoo, and those fancy names they give them. And I said, what company produces it? And then he was like, why does that matter? I was like, what a thing to say. Why does that matter? I thought, wow, that's kind of weird. And then I realized that like I'm heading towards a kerfuffle with my doctor. And I don't want him to pull some shit on me, like, oh, you're quarantined or something. I don't fucking know what he would say or do. I don't want to find out, so I just said, well, I do a lot of research on this stuff, and I kind of left it at that. And I just simply explained, like, I've had this kind of cold several times in my life, it's just it's normal, it happens when the seasons change, and, I have all this. And my mom was a nurse. I know this shit. I'm not stupid, I just need a fucking antibiotic. I didn't say the French word in there, though. And we kind of went back and forth a bit over it. I'll be honest with you, I have asthma. I got asthma from living in Asia. From the the condition of the air. The air pollution is what I mean to say. When I lived in Taipei, it was just really, really bad smog there. And I came back with fucking asthma. Thanks, Taiwan. And it's not serious, but if you do get it, like I don't normally use like an inhaler or do any of that kind of stuff. Hello to all the new people here. I'll catch up in the chat in a second to finish my story. It's only in like severe cases, where I might need an inhaler. But now I'm in a severe case. I've got this chest cold, and so I can't breathe, and that's not fucking cool. So I explained to him I ran out of whatever the little inhaler shit, and he got me one of those. But it was weird. It was like arm wrestling him to give me the antibiotic. And like he was trying to flim-flam me. He was like, "Oh well, we only." What did he say? He was saying that COVID is a virus, but a cold, like a chest cold, is not. And that's false. That's like patently false. It is a communicable virus. You know how like people wear masks, or like if they cough or they have the germs on their hands and then touch a doorknob and you touch the doorknob and now you got it. This is how these things spread around. Everybody knows this stuff. It's just normal knowledge. So I caught him in a lie about that. And then so like this is what I'm telling you guys. Like I don't fucking trust doctors. I don't trust the medical industry. They just have this weird megalomania, This kind of like, I know everything, you know nothing, do what I tell you, give me the money. Next, that's it, It's a culture, I'm not trying to shit on all doctors or whatever, but like it exists. It's a reality. So, now that you've had enough lecturing from Uncle Donald, let's say no uta. I'd be seeking a new doctor. Yes, sirree. Yeah, I really should get a new doctor. You're very right. Let me first say hello to my new friends, Seiya no Uta. That's an interesting name. It must be Japanese. But let's read some chats. Man, I am way behind on the chats. But let me see what I can find here. See if we can get into some interesting convos. And then I will start inking a new page. This is such a cool story. There's so many there's just so many cool elements in the story. Anyway, dragons, catches us on, normies. I'm scrolling through the chat. She helped me out. Saya no Uta. That sounds Saya no Uta. That's Japanese for sure, but I'm not sure what it means. The something of Uta. Anyway, been sick too. Not fun. Craig says mom doesn't COVID until she got COVID shot. And oh yeah, of course, booster. Yeah. It's garbage. It destroys your immune system. Hello. Hey, Rexus Prime is here. Every time I think of Rexus Prime, I see you as like a transformer. Rexus Prime. Cool. All right, Craig says, are Brits really as dull when it comes to food in the media? I don't know. That's a funny question. They seem naive. European food practice. The man, yeah, it's propaganda because half the seasoning in India and literally cow dung. Charming. Nevea is here and Vloni. Vloni is new. Welcome, Vloni. I got a shorts live idea for you. Well, tell me what it is. Craig says like beans, American Southern. Yo, Circus Cult is here. Yo, just got here. How are you feeling? Slowly getting better. I just got my antibiotic. Is the music too loud? Should I turn the music down? I feel like I'm yelling. I'd be seeking a new doctor. Good advice. Shocked I've been adding sugars. I'm not really going to talk about food. Friends talking about last night's stream. Dr. Dre's just fancy drug dealer. All those people, those rappers are like closet fruitcakes as well. I don't know if you know about those kind of things, but I don't want to talk about that either. They're just creeps, man. That whole when that whole Dr. Dre thing came in and everyone's like, "Oh, this is so cool," and like the introduction of like gangster rap into culture, mainstream culture, was a huge downfall for whites, for sure. I just saw this fascinating study where this was done quite a long time ago. I don't know, 50s or something, maybe. Anyway, they tried to raise a chimpanzee with a human child to see if that kind of, nurture would make the chimpanzee smarter. Well, it turned out at the end of the study that they discovered that it didn't make the chimpanzee smarter, but it made the white child who it was being raised with dumber. And weirdly, later in life, that when that child grew up, the person killed himself. I don't know what that was, but what's the moral of the story? If you're gonna raise your people around people of low IQ, you're lowering, you're harming your people. You know, don't hate, segregate. That's what I say. It's a loving message. Hate has no home here. Don't hate, segregate. See how loving that is? I'm such a loving person. Let's read on. I did a presentation. We spoke briefly around a year ago. Yeah, you seem. I feel like I'm familiar with a little bit. I'm sorry, but I mean, I get a lot of people coming and going, so you got to forgive me. What's Please give me some background with the name Saya no Uta. I studied Japanese for a while. I lived in Japan for a year. I've forgotten almost all of the Japanese that I've studied. It's a really hard language. It's very inscrutable, bizarre grammar, and like Chinese is so much easier than Japanese. Saya no Uta. I did reserve time for the part. He's right, but it's nice to finally be able to catch a show. Cool song. What is song? I don't know. My idea was drawing stuff like people or characters or anything, and we guess what it is. So like I would just start off with a drawing, and then you'd guess what it is. Is that what you mean? Song of Saya. Oh, how pretty. That's nice. That's real nice. Thank you for sharing that. I had a. Somebody's going to get mad at me for saying this. I had a Japanese girlfriend in college by the name of Sayako. It's just one of these, like, you know, one semester foreign exchange student flings, but forgive me for breaking the code. Sayako, sorry. Anyway, moving on. What have we here? My idea. I did have the idea of having some kind of a. I don't know how I would play this out, but I have the idea of doing something like. I draw caricatures. Do you guys know what caricatures are? They're like cartoon portraits. I used to do that professionally, and I thought it might be like a fun reward for my subscribers. I would have to have some, like, they'd have to win something, you know what I mean? Like, or commission it, or I just always thought like that I should try to incorporate the caricatures with my work, and I had a long-term client. I don't really know if I should say his name, but he's like a big influencer in the old alt-right, and he used to no, I can't say his name. He ran a gym, and he would pay me to do caricatures of his clients there, and that was just sort of a kind of a gift that he would give them for membership and stuff, and they loved it. I mean, who doesn't like a portrait of yourself, you know, especially a funny caricature, you know? Kind of cool. It's not something you can buy in a store, you know? But I guess AI is going to steal my job in 10 minutes, so maybe I better get that out there. Oh, AI, what are you doing? There you go, I'll write an AI song. That'll be sexy. Let's see what we got. T-Rad Dad, yo! Ladies and gentlemen, T-Rad Dad is here. Watch out. Craig says, I wouldn't be surprised about the cow poo in India food, though. I very literally have seen video of that, and it's kind of not fun to watch, but we're going to leave it at that. Okay, and moving on. I don't want you guys having bad dreams. T-Rad Dad says, you sound terrible. Hope you feel better. Hi. I know, very attractive, right? But the show must go on. We got work to do. We got a deadline. Move it. No rest for the wicked. Yes, I've got a sexy cold voice. I've been talking about that earlier. I just started, what do you call it? Antibiotics. So I should be clearing up soon-ish, hopefully. Yeah, yeah. Within like 4 days. That's the dosage is for like 4 days. So that's what it is. So I'm just cleaning up some pages, and I guess we can get started on the new one now. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington D.C. It's funny how in comics you find yourself drawing the Capitol building a lot. It's like the scene of a lot of attacks and shit in comics. You know. I mean that makes sense. This is a really exciting page. It's just this. Now, as always, there's lots of blank space because there's going to be, captions and word balloons, whatnot. You've got sort of a news helicopter coming in, showing a sort of a battle. I got some burning cars and things here, and there's this really interesting character called Fake News that I really like, and her face is like a TV screen. It's kind of interesting. So, and then you've got your villains that are kind of watching as the live showdown is going down. So that's the story, Morning Glory. Saya no Uta could be the distance from mic, but volume levels are fine. Okay. I feel like I'm going to turn the music down just a touch, so please wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Circus Cult says volume's decent. I think no doctors, no, not Dr. Dre. Lol. Oh, how funny. Rexa says, "Yep, it's inspired by Transformers." Oh, cool. Original PFP was a Transformer. Nice. I mean him too, I guess. I just double checked. There's no typo. Okay. We have a hidden message. Let's see. Oh yeah. This is a good point. We're talking about being around people with low IQ and how that's harmful to us. Surely excellence inspires excellence and vice versa. Well, that's, I can remember when we lived in a society where that was always the standard, that it was a meritocracy, right? We had people that you were just always striving. There were standards, but now standards is the patriarchy. I'll tell you, when I went back to college to get a teaching degree, it's been years since I'd been in college. I lived in Asia, and I had done all my things, lived in New York City and all this stuff. And then I go back, and obviously I'm like the older guy with like the younger students, but there were these two women that were about my age, and they had already kind of been in the field of the arts, like what do you call them? Nonprofits and galleries and these kinds of things, and I don't know what I said. There was something that we were being taught about something, and I said something that was kind of against the narrative of like what is considered art now. And one of the women very glibly turned to me and was like, "Oh, that standards in art is patriarchal, and we don't have that anymore. Like, you've been out of the loop for so long, that you need to be caught up with, like, now everything's feminism. Everything is like LGBT and feminism. That is the new standard of the arts, and decolonization." and you, Mr. Straight White Male, are the enemy, and we're taking you down. Everything that we do is about destroying you. But somehow, magically, it's white liberal women that are at the helm of that. That says a lot. There's a very powerful dynamic at work there. You know what I'm saying? That actually, I think, would be a really interesting study for psychiatrists, psychologists, sociologists to be like, what is it about the liberal white woman that makes her want to destroy her own civilization? You know what I'm saying? Dark shit, very dark shit. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. I'm a bad person for coughing. Bad. Let's read on. We got this message is held for review. Man, Craig is being really radical today with all his comments. Our people would be better around our mentally challenged brothers and sisters than equal IQ of other people. So that opens an interesting. Shit, I just noticed a mistake. Anyway, that opens an interesting thing. When I was in high school, I actually volunteered to help, during like study hall or whatever, I would help out with mentally disabled kids in classes and stuff. And it's probably because I come from like a medical family, but there's something to learn there, and I'd say that it's primarily about compassion. It's like seeing people with these conditions need, they're people, they have handicaps, and they need help. And so if you're helping people like that, you do kind of find out, you find another part of yourself that's essentially compassionate, and there's a really great value to that. It's kind of a beautiful thing. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. All right, I gotta toughen up here, man. Stop acting like I'm so sensitive. Let's read on. Our people would be. I read that the name is literally just from a visual novel I enjoy. No worries. Oh, okay. I'm actually. It's all sort of coming back to me now. I think you told me that before. Uta is song in Japanese. Very nice. Do you speak any Japanese? Yep, you got it. Craig, brothers, sisters, how long do you let the ink dry before erasing? Well, the ink dries like almost immediately. These kind of markers are not like, it's not like I'm using a brush. I used to use certain kinds of brushes and real India ink, but how do I say this? There's always a chance or a danger that you're gonna spill the ink or smear it. And I'm telling you, man, when you put hours into your artwork and then you freaking smear it, you're ready to like smash shit, like throwing chairs around shit. Like, you think I swear now? You have not even seen me in my glory of swearing, So, there were just enough times where I realized, you know what, and I'm very traditional. I just kind of like, just that way, I like to do the old traditional way. Like, I'm not doing digital, for example. And even moving over to the brush markers that I have, to me, was kind of like breaking the rules. I was like, no, I want to use a real brush. And I'm like, nah, it's not efficient, and you can get the same effect. So why? Why are you making it harder on yourself, And I feel I've become quite adept at the brushy brush, the ink brush, meaning the marker brush is what I should call it. Kind of all over the place tonight, guys. Let's check some chats. Pencil lead. Not saying I haven't had some good Indian food, but that is a 6th Street in Manhattan has great Indian restaurants. If you're ever into that, go to 6th Street in Manhattan. Years ago when I lived in New York, I had a friend visiting from out of town, and I took him and his girlfriend there, and they have these live musicians that sit in a little, by the window, kind of whatever, and they play like the tabla drums and do the thing, And we're having a great time, eating and drinking, talking, just enjoying ourselves. And the musicians go on break, and but there's one dude who's just this old dude just sort of sitting in his spot. I don't know what he was doing, but I just got out of my chair. They were facing away from me having this conversation, so they didn't see me leave the table. And I walked up to the dude, and I was like, he didn't speak English, but I was kind of saying like, can I jam with you, So I kind of got up there and grabbed one of the drums, and he taught me like some technique, how to, like, what the rhythm is, whatever. And I just did a steady rhythm. I'm musical enough to be able to just do that, And so I started kind of bopping around on that, and then he went off and did his, his thing. And my friend was like, in the heat of the conversation, and he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, don't you agree, Don? And he turns around, and I'm like, I'm gone. I'm not there. And then he sees me up on stage jamming on the tabla. So he laughed his ass off. I just thought that was like so funny. Anyway, that's my Indian food story. Like it or lump it. That's all I got. What else? I do have one other India story, but let me read some chats. Times at a gas station. Indian. This is a. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. Do you see Parasite's playground built upon the ashes of a nation? I asked, was there soap because the bathrooms women subconsciously feel betrayed by men who give them power. That's wild, dude. That's kind of deep. I could get into some pretty dark areas here. Excuse me, discussing like women's psychology, hypergamy, the certain like biological realities of why women behave the way that they do, that a lot of people don't like to hear. But I would like to see some like actual studies on the topic that, within the context of what I was just saying. I think that would be pretty fascinating. Because I think of like white liberal women as the managerial class of the death of Western civilization, and the whole girl boss, slut revolution and all this horseshit that goes with it. It's a fucking serious phenomenon. It's a very, very serious, real phenomenon. In the field of education, it's a female-dominated field, right? So I've been like harassed a lot by women, a lot. Like I mean, if I talk about it, I'm gonna start getting like super angry and shit because like I had to go through a lot of shit, and not really. I was so naive at the time too. I didn't really realize like what the fuck, like why are you doing this? I was like blindsided, And it wasn't until years later when I kind of put all these things together that I realized like This is like a thing. This is a real thing, you know. Very dark shit, you know. Very dark shit. I think we need to get a handle on it, though. You know what I mean? I know I'm missing like tons of chat here, but I just sort of need to get a little focused here. Oh, God. I cannot wait to get over this cold. I used to work with the mentally disabled. Jim Mitchell's here. Good to be back. Bishop Williamson. Awesome sauce. Welcome, Jim. Flash, Adelaide. All right. My best buddy, Flash. Super, super great friend. Massive admiration for that fella. Craig says, my godfather used to own an entire neighborhood of group homes. Whoa. Basically a group home community. That's pretty heavy. Saya says, not enough Japanese to really be proficient, though my girlfriend, hopefully soon to be fiance, would like to learn with me. Okay. Saya, I'm currently practicing another Asian language, though I'm not making much headway. What Asian language are you learning? Rexus says, yep, I have some form of syndrome or disability because I'm only the one in my entire family who has low set ears. And many people have noticed that I'm a bit special. Oh dear. Later on, my family and I housed one of the patients. She really enjoyed living with us. Excuse me. One of my third positionist friends believes that people with disabilities and syndromes should receive a bit more care. Well, obviously they need care, yeah. Yes, people with disabilities need care. Ann Ross is back. Welcome, Ann Ross. Did it take you a while to learn how to draw folds crumple in clothing? Pardon me. Oh, sorry. Absolutely, yeah. That's one of those like drawing 101 things that you got to get down early on. There's a kind of a science to it that once you know what that is, you can just do it sort of instinctively, and it's not so hard to do. The folds naturally move with the movement of the body. Sorry. Oh God. I'll be glad when this cold is gone. The worst part is not getting any sleep, you know. That's why I'm probably going to cancel work tomorrow. Give myself an extra day. Oh. Sorry. The thing about folds in clothing, it's very interesting. Back in early days, of the glory days of illustration, that was everything because you just, people wore suits and stuff, and, you had to be a master of that in your illustration. And there were certain people that just turned it into a type of an artistry, that there was a certain aesthetic in the way that they would understate it or use like really beautiful, bold brush strokes. And you can kind of look that stuff up and enjoy it. It's really good stuff. Maybe someday I'll do like a little show, sort of like a history of comics type of a show. That would be fun. And go over the artwork of the various masters in the genre. Nice. All right. I'm really anxious to get this job done. We want it. We're shooting for, the Christmas market, right? That's the big one every year. And so, just Plus, just the excitement of launching the marketing and getting into that phase of everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very excited about that. All right. Flash says lifestyle creates a lot of mental issues. What lifestyle? Third position? Robert Pyle, hey buddy. Flash says US, UK, I see it's getting a big social concern. What is the, like, autism and shit? I don't know. Don't see. I lost the point. Let's see. Loose friends, isolation, paranoia. Oh, yeah, okay, right. It's a disadvantage that it's even our women doing that, though. Yeah, I know. Me and Buddy's new decline was guaranteed in '90s when women in authority, high school teachers proclaimed we were richest country on earth and owed it to the world's poor. Tagalog. Oh wow, that's a tough language. Good luck with that. I'm assuming your fiance is Filipino, if that's the case. Anyway, get yourself better, brother. Oh, dude, I know I hate it. Bro, you should try some natural chicken broth with chilies. That makes you sweat the cold away. So, just today, saw my doctor. I talked about this earlier. I got a, what do you call it? Antibiotic. It's a 4-day treatment. I did buy like a bunch of garlic, and I just got some buckwheat honey. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is boil the garlic in the honey, and because I'm told that's a good natural remedy. I also got what do you call it? Apple cider vinegar, and just you drink that pretty much raw, you know. I've never heard of this thing with chilies though. I'll have to look into that. Seriously though, you have to try the garlic honey. Oh, I just read that. Okay, mentioned. Yes, yeah. Spicy stuff out of your system. Warning, you wash down the paper with water. The water will just increase the spicy. Okay. Yeah, you are currently coughaholic. I'm being coughaholic as well. Currently, last bit of this cold flu. Yeah, it blows. Currently coughing. Yeah, not fun. Yeah, it really sucks. My I got a friend's birthday coming up really soon, not this weekend, but the following weekend, and I'm taking her dancing, and so I cannot be sick for that. I cannot be sick for that. So I've got to make sure that I'm showing her a good time. That's the thing. So I'm really gonna try to get myself in order here. Um, Pepper. It's best to just ride out the pepper because if you overdrink milk and ice cream, you're just gonna. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of. I have cream in my coffee, but I'm generally like a low phosphorus guy. That's a sort of a health situation that I'm involved in without going into detail. I'll have some ice cream over the summer, take my son out or something. But I do like cheese a lot, though. See, that's the French side of me right there, okay? I like me some cheese. Like Wallace and Gromit. Cheese. I have not seen Wallace and Gromit in a long time. I have to pull that up on YouTube. Well, with a tolerance, sure, but if it doesn't have a high tolerance, it's just a glass of milk is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cheese is amazing, right? My girlfriend and I are horrible. We eat ice cream nearly every day. Ooh, that's not good. I really like Asiago cheese with things. Um, I like Brie. I like Swiss, Munster. Occasionally, I'll have like a real hard, dry cheese. When I was a kid growing up, oh man, this is super cool. There was a home out in the countryside, not too far from where I grew up, and the home was converted into a German cheese factory. And I don't know, factory's not quite the word, but like it was a German cheese company, I guess. And I can remember whenever, on occasion, that the family had a reason to go out to the countryside in that area, we would always make sure that we stopped by the German house. And people literally had like German accents in there, and it was I don't know how to say this, like you felt like you were really in Germany because they had all kinds of cool ethnic knickknacks and like just like I don't know, like what's like the man, I'm losing my mind. The decoration inside the place made it look kind of like some kind of traditional German home, and it was just so charming. The one thing about it though is that the smell of the cheese was so pungent. It was like for a kid, it's a little much. It was like, oh my god, this is so strong. But even that was kind of part of the experience and made it sort of fun and interesting in a way. And years later, I went back to try to find it, and it was gone. I hate that. It's like you wish that traditions just stayed. And I just replace things like that with like fucking Dollar Tree or Walmart or some ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never something like cultural. It's always like, okay, now we're gonna put some corporate garbage in here. Sad. What time is it? I can't see. I don't know. Oh, really? Don't know. Oh my god. Okay, that's fun. I don't eat as much German food as I ought to. Are we eating Italian or Asian food? We have sushi either once or twice a week. I love sushi. I said I wasn't going to talk about food. Listen to me talking about food. I'm like sushi man. Oh, God. Rough times over here in Donald Kent land. Rough times. I have way too many projects going on. I've got to change my life. I'm like, all right, I want to do this. It's like, dude, do one thing, prioritize, find the thing that matters, and stick with it, you know? Yeah. For example, I got the material, I essentially joined the Monroe Institute. You guys know what the Monroe Institute is? It's that organization that you learn out of body experience and what do you call it? Well, mainly my interest is astral projection. Remote viewing, I guess, is part of it, but that's not really my focus. I tend to think that's just sort of a psychic byproduct. But I've been thinking about this for a long, long time, and I finally got all the equipment that I need. There is they use binaural frequencies, and so they're basically frequencies that they're like they trigger different wave states in the brain, and then while that occurs, then other things occur. So it should be very interesting, to say the least. No, I mean, I've been researching this for a long time, so I know what I'm after. But I need to get kind of sort of sit down and like, you have to do it at least twice a day, and that's a pretty big time commitment for me. I don't have that kind of time right now. What it would mean is doing it before bed, which I can do, but also probably early in the morning. So I would have to get up like in whatever an hour early, you know, and then do that. And you have to do it for a fairly long time to sort of get the effects. And then let me back out here. You can't see what I'm doing. Do you? Oh, okay. Let me read some things going on here. Wow. Takoyaki. I love takoyaki. Flash. Wow, I'm missing a lot of good chat. I don't eat. No, I read that. Okay, the Asago cheese. That's great. Flash says a long time ago, my mom told me about a French friend of hers who went to the U.S. and brought some camembert. They made him eat it at the border control. Really? What's the one that stinks really bad? It's a German. cheese. I love it. I know it's terrible, but I freaking love it. Like most people are like, that is just heinous. Like what is it called? What is that called? It's slipping my mind right now. Damn it! I hate that when that happens. I don't remember. You know the one. There's only one that's like super nasty. Like the smell is nasty, but I don't know what it is about me. I'm like kind of crazy. Cheese crazy. That's what I am. I have a condition. It's called cheese crazy. Saya says we are going to. I read that. There's German sausage. Da da da. Boy, this is turning into the food show. It's nice to interact with living different culture style. I swing by local Amish. Oh, great. Yeah, I last couple months got kind of turned on to this Amish market that I've been going to, and I always buy like a little snack or something when I go there. And I actually asked the lady. I try to make them laugh, tell them jokes, and get them to relax. And then I said, what would it take to become Amish? And she said, it's too hard. You should. I recommend that you try Mennonite first. Like it's too much of a drastic jump. Thought that was an interesting thing to say. Okay, Craig. The mushroom thing. Do you think it's real? Yes. I don't know. I don't know if anything's real. No, I don't. I'm kidding. There's something there. I suspect that it is real, but I don't know about the one where like, the sort of drumsticks. That one. That could be a little. I don't know, but there's something there. I'll just say that there is some there, if you know what I'm trying to say. Muy interesante. Whoa, I just spoke Spanish. I'm so cool. I was watching a French film the other day and just thinking like how hard it would be to learn French. The sounds of French are so stylized. You'd have to take like some serious time just to be able to make those sounds properly, which frankly is common in any language. Like, when you learn Chinese, you have to learn how to make the sounds of Chinese. I happen to pick up on it very instinctively, and it's not that hard for me. But Japanese is easy to pronounce, but hard to speak because the grammar is just so wacky. If you don't pronounce Chinese correctly, though, you're screwed. Like, you gotta get the tones correct, otherwise you're just making gibberish. It's pretty wild that the language is tonal, You have to, there's rising, falling, and bouncing tones, so to speak. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, do you think it's real? I read as a science. You'll thank me later. I should really make a Telegram account, but I don't like using my phone number, especially since I did it once with Discord. Cheesy, crazy, yep. Yeah, the Amish lifestyle requires quitting modern technology. Mushrooms play some percussion instrument. Yes, it was funny. Gruber cheese. I've never heard of that. I'm sure it was a Telegram. When I was starting to learn French, learned a little, mostly from my grandfather. It was pretty easy. It was easier than So, like, I think it all comes down to passion. Like, I actually do have a passion for it. And I think with time, if I was, so I'll just kind of put it this way, like what I would really, really, really like to do sometime is move to France for like 6 months to a year, and just, you know, like burn it into me. You know what I mean? Like just go deep into the language. You know, of course, let's sign up for some school. I could probably do it on like a student visa. You know, and then just hammer it out. You know, like get all the basics. And I think, I don't know. But the problem is then what? You know, like I mean, there's really, I don't have any opportunity to speak it where I live. You know what I'm saying? There's just, you get what I'm saying. So it's more, I don't know. It's just kind of a feeling like I always wish that I could connect with that part of my ancestry. That's really, really, literally what this is all about. You know, is that I think in America, Irish ancestry is just very common and prevalent. It's sort of everywhere. So like that's already, I kind of already have that. You know, and then I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that I'd like to explore within the experience of being French. You know, which I don't know. I've read about. You know, just literature, arts, history, identity. You know, to get some, like I did that in Chinese and in Japanese. Why can't I do it in fucking French? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I'm like a whiz at languages, but if I can do that, I sure as hell can learn some French. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a dream. It's like a sort of a little dream that I have. I hope that I can one day accomplish. Be nice. I'm mostly Mediterranean, but funny enough, I have almost no ties to it because of my family situation. Pasta good, make really good. I really do love food. Okay. I guess, I thought we were going to have some kind of radical political conversation. You guys are talking about food. That's not exciting. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. See, I'm a free speech absolutist. I even let people talk about food on my channel. See? All right. What time is it? The reason I say this is I'm getting like more and more and more tired. You know, it's just the nature of being sick. You know. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna make it. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna make it, guys. I know to tell you this. It sounds potential threatening. I hope I'm just taking this. When I was starting to learn French, that's pretty easy. I read that. Okay. I thought I feel like I'm not the best arbiter of politics with my life circumstances, some choices. Art cookout show with Donald Kent. Woo! Boy, oh boy, oh. I know. Over the years, I've actually picked up a couple dishes that I can make. There's something in Japanese cuisine that's called okonomiyaki. See, just when I say that, I feel so fancy. Okonomiyaki is if you were to read that on a menu, they call it Japanese pancake, but it's not. It's not a fucking pancake. I love these people that do like horrible jobs at translating things. It's not a pancake. It does have flour, like it's a flour based food that is sort of fried, not yeah, kind of like cooked like a pancake, but it has cabbage and seafood and beef and oyster sauce and you can mix all kinds of stuff in it. I can't get the right damn angle for that. There's this one. There's only one place that I know locally that has it. So every once in a while I go there just to get it. It's something like takoyaki, okonomiyaki. So it's that whatever yaki means. It's that, but larger, I guess. Not Francis Parker yaki. Not that one. Holy shit! I just made like a dissident right joke. Like a, oh my god, that was a heck of a play on words right there. Yoraka, takoyaki, okonomiyaki, or Francis Bakayaki. Don't hate me, please. Do not hate me. Don't report me to Jared Taylor. I swear, I'll be good. It's the medication that's making me talk like this. Okay, guys, please be nice. Okonomiyaki. Anyway, okay. All right, we're looking good here in helicopter land. Moish. Oh my god. A yaki you spray out of a cylinder. Dude, stop. Teriyaki senpai. Okay. I just, we're going down a bad road here in the chat. Francis Takoyaki. Oh, okay. Flash laughed at it. Good. If Flash laughed at it, I know it's okay. It's okay. That's good. Very similar seasoning. I would love to visit what used to be Prussia. Half my family, mom's side, despite I believe in how I was a J-double-O and I have Yiddish heritage. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think okonomiyaki looks like an omelet. That's also, you know what it is. Oh, that's cool. You know, that's a Japanese omelet. I mean, there's restaurants that you can go to where the table of the restaurant is like a sort of big flat metal surface where you cook it, and then you will choose like, oh, I want to have this or I want to have that to mix in, and it's a fun thing. It's a neat thing to do. Yeah, I guess you could kind of compare it to an omelet because it's got different stuff in it, right? Oh, guys, I don't think I can do it anymore. I'm burning out. All this talk of cheese and takoyaki. Now I need to eat something. Well. Yeah, I would really like to. The whole snacking at night thing is not. That's gotta go. That's not a good thing if you're trying to lose weight. No can do. All right. Yeah, guys. Wow, that was sexy. Sorry about that. I apologize. Let's see. No shit, we should have a white cookbook. Wow, that's a great idea. Jokes aside, the world. Actually, I think I'm gonna avoid that topic. Let's see. Anros, I'm back. All right, Anros. Prime pray for the heritage to be removed from your soul and body. I pray for the heritage. Oh, jeez. Put garlic under onions for whatever you cook. I just had like a huge handful of garlic. I fried it up with some hamburger, mushrooms, and bok choy with like red, like the red pepper spice and what do you call it, paprika. I'm like stir fry man. That's like what I do. I just made some tsukune meatballs. Okay, minced chicken with ginger, leeks. Dude, I'm coming over to your fucking house right away, man. I want to. He's like the master chef there. Ratatouille. I'm moving in, buddy. You better get a cot. Sorry, I won't. I'm sorry, I won't do that. All right, I think that's enough of that. I keep saying I'm gonna stop, and then I keep talking with you crazy guys. There's actually a lot to say about politics right now. There's a ton of things to say. I'm just kind of too tired for it, though. I don't have like the chutzpah. You know what that is, right? You know what? I saw a clip. Fuentes was on Gavin McInnes' show, and they were so funny together. I'm like, dude, this is like a show. This could be a thing. Like, you guys should do your own show together. You know, like they've got a really great humorous chemistry, and it's interesting how like Gavin McInnes tried to get Yee and Kanye and Fuentes on a show to like straighten them out about anti-Semitism, and it was a gigantic flop. Like it was, you know, he meant it to be like an intervention, and it turned out to be like they schooled him instead. It's a it's pretty famous show, you know, in terms of like the history of what we're doing and what's going on. People can look it up. Kanye, being the weirdo that he is wearing like a mask throughout the interview. It's like a totally black face mask. Very weird. But like he says some pretty base things though, you know. And anyway, it's like what's his face? Alex Jones. He's come around. Like he's trying to. I don't know if I can say trying to, but he's kind of one of us now. Because like if you speak the truth and you're on the JQ, then you're in some way working with us. I suppose you could say. And so that's happening. Interesting, huh? Muy interesante. Yeah, a lot going on. Crazy shit going on. I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, I think I'm just gonna do my art, you know? Like, I'm gonna take care of myself, prepare for the future, you know, stuff like this, you know? It's not like I haven't been doing that, but maybe a bit more, I guess. You know? All right, I read that. Used to be a bomb place in DC called Tony Change. Pick up your fresh ingredients, then the guy cooked, seasoned it up nice. That sounds cool. I should, all right. Let me know if you ever come to Chicago, Donald. I live in the suburbs and would love to give recommendations. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. What a kind offer. That's a very generous offer. Thank you. I've been to Chicago once. I actually did a job interview there years ago. And obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but I didn't get it, so I didn't move there. But I've heard great things about Chicago, and I've heard terrible things about Chicago. I know you know what I'm talking about. South of Chicago. Anyway, let's read on. Craig Honey, can't even wrap my head around how to pronounce. I'm interested in seeing. Jiminy had a really cool leader at one point, and Nick is just nodding and trying his hardest not to laugh. Oh yeah. Is that the show? That was I think that's the one I'm referring to. But there is a new show that just came out with just Nick Fuentes and Gavin McInnes, and it's like just some really great clips from it. There's one moment. Oh God, check this out. So at one point, they're talking about how, like, Fuentes says that most Jews love it that people are being deported. Like foreign exchange students are being deported for attending like these anti-Israel protests, and Gavin McInnes, being the boomer normie that he is, was like, no, that's not true. And then he calls up like a Jewish friend of his, just straight out of nowhere on his phone, and then says, would you say that most Jewish people are happy that when these students get deported because they attended, anti-Hamas or anti-Israel protests? And the guy's like, yeah, for sure. So they both laughed because like it just proved Fuentes right, Anyway, I'm gonna read the chat and probably wrap this. Yeah, Kanye is weird. Can't blame it. I'll never show my face unless I've never come across someone. T-Rev, many historical truths finally broken into the current reality. Yes, I'm loving the timeline. Yeah, man, T-Rev, Dad, it's a pretty amazing timeline, dude. It really is. I don't know. 8 years ago, we could never have imagined where we are now. Saya says, I want to make Chicago the White City again. Good. God bless you. Oh, I've seen that clip. He calls the Yid. He agrees. Yeah. Now that we're all caught up, God bless you guys. Somebody just joined the show, but like I'm leaving. But I'm sick, so I gotta go. Love you guys. Keep on rocking in the free world. We'll see you next time. And don't ever give up hope. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.